What's up, YouTube? Now you see the title of this video, and you see the image that I have on the screen. It's really crazy, man. All the hypocrisy I've been seeing when it comes to this Carmelo Anthony case. It's amazing, man. The hypocrisy you're seeing from these racist whites online, man. They are crashing out. I saw some footage, and I might even go over it in a separate video after this one, right? Some footage of a guy, some white guy going up to the house of um the parents of Carmelo Anthony, and he's just ringing the doorbell and just looking all weird and goofy and shit, right? And I'm just looking at this shit, and I'm looking at how all of these people are harassing the family of Carmelo Anthony. They are sending them death threats. They're doing all of this. They're putting all this energy into this case. They're really just doing the most, and they're trying to mask it behind morality and all of this. And this is a murder and all this. Mind you, there's been no verdict. It's innocent until proven guilty. But see, when it comes to black people, you don't get the innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent. And even if he was proven innocent, it wouldn't matter. They none of these people care about this. Uh they don't really care about it being a thing of like the justice system proving it. That when the justice system goes in their favor, even when it's wrong, they'll say, "Oh, that's the law." But if the verdict were to be that Carmelo Anthony was innocent, these white people would be running around screaming, black privilege, saying some dumb shit like that, or saying this is murder, this is an attack against whites, and all this dumb shit, right? And I'm looking at all of the shit, right? I'm looking at the dude going up to the house. I'm looking at the death threats that apparently the family are getting, and you even got people sending pizza to their house. It's very weird behavior, right? And I'm looking at all of this. I'm looking at all the racist comments and the people crashing out and talking about the blacks, right? It's the blacks, right? Just everything is the blacks, and you know everything is um everything is a way for them to try to make themselves be the victim. Because see, that's what we're seeing right now currently within this country is we have a group of white people trying to be the victims, right? Trying to be the victims, trying to avoid accountability that their people have engaged in. And not only that, but constantly they have expressed the hypocrisy that they have, right? Because when it comes to this recent shooting, this shooting that happened at FSU, I'm sure some of y'all probably heard of it. If not, I'll briefly go over it. Some kid, went to went to a university in Florida, down at FSU, and he shot up the campus. Right, he shot up the campus, deleted I think two people, injured some others. I forgot the exact number of the injured, but I think for sure he deleted two people, right? And who knows, it might be more numbers by now because some of the injured people, maybe they're in the hospital and they might have deceased. They'll add that onto the number, right? But as of my knowledge now, it's two people who have been deleted. And what I find to be very, 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 very funny is that this shooter was a white male. And, I'm not even going to get into like a lot of these shootings are a lot of this stuff, even the Carmelo Anthony case, all this stuff is all manufactured by the elites. But I'm gonna just leave that off the table for this video for the sake of the conversation, because I really focus on the hypocrisy of these racist whites in this country, because this is why we can't get anywhere. The shooter was said to be a white male, and he went there, crashed out and shot up the campus. Now, here's the thing. Uh, it got released after the shooting, right? That the guy was apparently a white supremacist. He was online, pushing white supremacist ideology. Um, very racist individual. And what I find to be very very funny about the situation is I'm not seeing the same energy that we've been seeing with Carmelo Anthony. Where are all the white people talking about the culture and the culture is violent and there's a culture of white violence, right? Especially since this shooter was said to be a white supremacist. This would be something for you to look at and be like, oh, well, this is a sign of the racist culture in white America that needs to be fixed. Their violent racist white culture. Why is Matt Walsh not making a post about that? Like he did Carmelo Anthony talking about these young black males. Why is Matt Walsh not making a post talking about the violence of young white males if they really cared about violence and morality, right? Where's Matt Walsh's post? I haven't seen it. Where is all the posts from these alt-right individuals talking about the violence of young white males? Because two people lost their life at the FSU campus. Two people who won't be able to continue on their path. Two people who won't be able to be a benefit to society. These are all the talking points they give him when it comes to the Austin Metcalf. Oh, he lost his life and he was gonna do big things. And what about the lives of those two people at the FSU campus? What about what they would have benefited to the society? What about that? And what's crazy is there was a video that came out when it came to that situation down at FSU, where apparently there was a person who was like walking and recording, I guess, as they were walking, and they were walking past one of the deceased bodies of some white girl, right? And I guess the hand of the person holding they were holding, I think they were holding a cup or something, right? Starbucks or some shit. And the hand of the individual was like, a dark shade, I guess. And you had racist whites crashing out online talking about, I guess they thought it was a black woman. And they were like, oh, this black woman, she walked past this white girl dying. She didn't do anything. These blacks hate us. These blacks are racist. These blacks, they're anti-white. And I'm like, bruh, apparently the individual wasn't even black. So I just find it funny how they're finding any way in any situation to blame black people, bro. Even in a situation where a white male shot up a school and he's the reason that white girl was on the ground bleeding, they still trying to find a way to blame blacks. I mean, dude, this image I have on the screen is how they are, bro. It's the blacks. Every single scenario you see, they are blaming black people, bro. They are blaming black people for society being fucked up. They're blaming black people for everything wrong. They got no smoke for the elite oligarchs. They have no smoke for them. That white dude that went up to the Carmelo Anthony's parents' house, why ain't he pulling up on the elites? Why are they got all of these cowardly white males, man? I need to make another video on, the cowardice of some of these white males. All they smoke for a marginalized group. See, because they don't want to go at the elites because they're too cowardly to do this. So what they do is they punch down at a marginalized group. Which, mind you, they want to act like black people aren't marginalized in this society and aren't discriminated against, and that they're the ones discriminated against. They live in a delusional world, man. The pathology of these people is it's really perplexing, man. It's amazing to just see, such a degenerate mindset, and we have to exist around these types of people, right? For people who have sense, for people who, and it doesn't even matter your race, even if you're a white person who's not like this, the fact that everybody has to exist around these types of people is insane. These people are amongst us, bruh. I mean, these are the people we have to cohabitate with. People who run around with this type of pathology, bro. It's insane. So the FSU shooter shoots up the campus, kills two people, deletes two people, right? There is no outrage from these same white people that's mad about Carmelo Anthony. Where's the White Lives Matters goofy shit? Where's that at? Because the people that were killed were white. So I'm just wondering, where is the outrage? Where is the people talking about stop the violence against white Americans? Y'all saw that goofy ass protest they had recently with that Jake Lang. He's you know so happens to be a Jew. I guess let's not even go there. Because we know how you can't say nothing about that group of people. And that's a smokescreen in and of itself. But he just so happens to be a Jew. Out there with that goofy protest, stop the violence of blacks against white Americans, and all that the race baiting bullshit. He's doing what he needs to do. His handlers have him out there doing, to cause division. That's what the elites need, right? So of course the Jew is out there doing what he needs to do, and I find it funny. How there's no protests at the campus talking about the violence of white males at the FSU campus. Where is that protest? Where's the protest against the violent white culture that caused those two people to die at the FSU campus? Have any of y'all seen it? Have any of y'all seen the protests? I haven't. I haven't seen them down there. Where's Jake Lang for that? Where's he at? I'm really confused right now because I'm not seeing the things that I should be seeing based on the rhetoric they're putting out. So when we see this hypocrisy, what this really shows is that they don't care about Austin Metcalf. They don't care about his life being lost. They don't care. It's all, like I said in my last video, this is all about trying to find justification to attack black people, to go at black people, to justify their racism and hatred against black people. That's all it is. They don't care about his life, this Austin Metcalf life being lost, if that even happened the way they claim, right? They don't care about none of that. They don't really care. It's all about going at the blacks, right? It's the blacks, right? It's the blacks, right? So they don't really care about the life that was allegedly lost. They don't care about any of that. They just want to justify their hatred against black people. And this is why we're not seeing any outrage over the FSU shooter. And this is why we didn't see any outrage over another dude, Nikita Kasib, who apparently deleted his parents and was trying to delete Trump. No, I heard crickets, man. Nobody was talking about that either, and talking about the violence of white males, young white males. Where is that dialogue at, Matt Walsh? Where is Matt Walsh's post about that? Where is the Sambo crowd? Angry man. I got him added in this video because he's just one of the Sambos going in on this goofy shit. Where's the Sambo crowd at? Like angry man to call out the violence of young white males. Where y'all at? Where's Brandon Tatum talking about the FSU shooter and linking it to the violence of young white males? Why is that link not being made since we want to do it for Karmelo Anthony? Considering the fact Karmelo Anthony, this case is entirely different. He is alleging self-defense. And in these other cases, we have people who just going full out, crashing out, shooting people. Where's the dialogue about the violence of young white males? Are we gonna get that dialogue? Because we have to keep it fair and balanced, right? If we're going to act like we care about the lives of people, when it comes to Austin Metcalf, then the same energy should be for every case, right? So once again, this shows they don't give a fuck. They don't care. It's all the way to demonize black people, man. All of these Sambos, they'll never call out white people on their fuck shit because, they got to get their butter biscuits. It is the Sambo recession shuffle right now. We about to enter a recession. So these Sambos are going hard in the paint because they need to make sure they have enough butter biscuits for this recession. So right now, what we're seeing with all these Sambos, I'm gonna make a video on why there's like the Sambos is going heavy recently, is because it's something that I call the Sambo recession shuffle. The Sambo recession shuffle. What is that? The Sambo recession shuffle is the Sambos are trying to get as many butter biscuits off the plate as possible before the recession hits because there will be a lack of bread, right? So that's what we're seeing right now. They got to accumulate as many butter biscuits as possible to be able to sustain themselves, right? So it is right now what we're witnessing is the Sambo recession shuffle, right? But I'm about to go ahead and end this video, man. You're not gonna see anyone talk about what I've talked about in this video. You're not gonna see Angry Man address anything that I've said in this video. If he were to see this video, he'd be shook because he wouldn't be able to intellectually debunk anything I've said. None of these Sambos can, because a lot of these Sambos either they know they're on some fuck shit or they really are just that dumb and they really believe the shit they push. Either way, both of them are a problem. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, man. The hypocrisy is amazing with these people, man. I'm out.